So you thought baby DeOrr was...
And I thought they were all were going as a group, yeah.
So, and did you look back, did you actually see them all with you as a group at some point?
At some point, before we were all as a group as we started to leave the campground. I remember all of us being together.
But not Bob.
Right.
Bob wasn't there.
Bob was at the stayed at the camp.
Okay. But to the very first spot when you were showing them, do you remember, was Jessica holding DeOrr? Was senior DeOrr holding DeOrr? Because if he was having trouble walking, he probably would have had to be carried at some point, right?
Right.
So do you remember if anyone was holding him?
If he was down there, like I said, I don't like I can't answer that. I don't
That's
like I said, I don't
good.
remember everything. As far as I know, I thought baby DeOrr was still behind us, and I was showing Jessica. Like when I went to go show them the fishing hole, like I went down there and showed Jessica where the fishing hole is, and I assumed that DeOrr and his dad were right behind me.
Okay.
Or just behind us. They was taking them a little bit to catch up.
Mm-hmm. And at what point did you and DeOrr Sr. and Jessica split up? They went somewhere else and you went somewhere, you said earlier, right? You came down the creek closer to the campground and left them up there?
Yeah.
And
I did. I don't know, it was like 5-10 minutes. I showed them, I think it must have been 5-10 minutes.
Okay.
After I did that, I started walk. I walked towards camp, and I went to another fishing hole to fish. And I was down there fishing for a while, and that's when I noticed Bob was up there on the ridge walking, pacing back and forth. So I asked him what was going on, and he said little DeOrr is missing. And I was like, what? So, I don't know exactly the distance there.
You said that Bob was like pacing on the ridge. What do you mean the ridge?
There's really high banks. I'm at the very bottom of the bank, so it's hard to even see up over the bank because of how steep the banks are.
So you said you noticed Bob pacing.
Kinda.
What did he look like to you? Was he stressed?
He looked like he was kind of stressed or worried about something, so.
And so that's what made you think to ask him what was going
right.
on. And he said
that little DeOrr's missing. So.
And your reaction was?
Well, where did he go? I better start help look for him.
So then what did you do?
I walked up to the bank and I talked to Bob a little bit more about where he might be, and we started looking in the campers and everything first. We looked in the camper. We looked all around the area. We looked underneath the vehicles. We went up in the hills. I went up in the hill up there about to where the reservoir is. I went up there and looked around. I must have went out by myself for probably about a half an hour looking, trying to find DeOrr, and I couldn't find him.
So was Jessica and DeOrr, Jessica's boyfriend or fiance at the time, were they at the campsite when Bob told you DeOrr was missing? When he was pacing on the bank and you walked up, were they at the campsite?
When I went down there when I went up there to talk to Bob, no, they were already out looking for him.
So you didn't see him? They were
right.
They were out. So you and Bob searched the immediate area.
Me and Bob searched the immediate area right there for a little bit. His mom came from, I don't know, she was out in the sagebrush looking, and she came back to camp, and I talked to her a little bit, and I said, what's going on there? Like, he's missing. Did
she seem upset?
Yeah, she seemed pretty upset. I couldn't really look at you in the face or anything. She hadn't been able to do that for I don't know for what reason.
Did you ever have the impression before law enforcement or search and rescue out there, did you ever have a thought that maybe someone took him? Did you ever think that? Or was that something that came about when he just couldn't be found?
I thought maybe he got lost or somewhere and sat down.
Okay.
That's what my impression was, or,
DeOrr, Jessica's fiance, do you know where he went? Was he in the truck, or was he on foot?
He was on foot for a while, and then he was also in the truck. He got in the truck too to go down by the cattle guard to go look for him down there too.
Okay, but you stayed busy then.
I stayed busy looking, going up the hills, all over. Yeah.
Was DeOrr Sr. Did he get Was he angry? Did he get aggressive with Bob? Did he say like, you know, he was here last? Like, was there frustration?
I think there was a little bit, but he didn't seem to get too angry at Bob, so.
So DeOrr, did he ever appear frustrated or anything that DeOrr, did he tell Bob at the time I left him here with you? Did he ever say anything like that?
Not that I remember, no.
Did Vernal, DeOrr, Jessica's boyfriend or fiance, he left the campground, did he leave the campground in his truck to go call 911? Or do you know?
As far as I know, he left the campground in his truck to go look for little DeOrr over by the cattle guard.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I don't know if they left to go call it or if they called it from there with one of their cell phones. I don't know.
Okay. Was Bob continuing to look too? Could he get up and down the hills very easy?
Yeah, he had kind of a hard time because he had the oxen machine and the tubes, so.
Okay. So was there a shovel involved at any point? Did anybody have a shovel?